Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we're talking about things at the office.
That's right. We are at the office, but this time we are going to ask our boss or manager for a raise.
All right, so what is this word raise? Let's take a look at it in today's vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
All right, so we're going to ask for a raise. So if you are at your office and you talk to your boss and you say, I want a raise, what does that mean?
That means I want more money.
Okay, so I want a raise or increase in my salary.
That's right. So a raise is a thing that you ask for. And in this case, a raise means that you already work at the company, you already have a salary, and you want some more money each month.
Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Let's listen to this dialogue. Excuse me, sir. May I talk to you?
Bill, sure, come on in. What can I do for you?
Well, sir, as you know, I have been an employee of this prestigious firm for over 10 years.
Yes?
I won't beat around the bush. Sir, I would like a raise. I currently have 3 companies after me, and so I decided to talk to you first.
A raise? Son, I would love to give you a raise, but this is just not the right time.
I understand your position, and I know that the current economic downturn has had a negative impact on sales. But you must also take into consideration my hard work, proactiveness, and loyalty to this company for over a decade.
Taking into account these factors and considering I don't want to start a brain drain, I'm willing to offer you a 10% raise and an extra 5 days of vacation time. How does that sound?
Great! It's a deal. Thank you, sir.
Before you go, just out of curiosity, what companies were after you?
Oh, the electric company, the gas company, and the water company. All right, we're back. So now, why don't we take a look at language takeaway?
Language takeaway.
So the conversation we just heard is a conversation between a manager or a boss and the employee. And the employee says, listen, I need to talk to you about something. I have been an employee at this prestigious firm for over 10 years. So prestigious is our first word.
Okay. Prestigious is an adjective, right?
That's right.
And it means very respected, very well known.
Esteemed. That's right. So something that is prestigious has a good reputation.
Like, for example, some universities, like you hear all the time about American universities like Harvard or Yale, which are considered to be prestigious universities.
Or the Nobel Peace Prize is a very prestigious award.
Okay, so it's an adjective to describe something that's respectable, well-known, or esteemed, as you said.
Exactly.
All right, and what's our next word?
Our next one is not so happy. This is what we've been experiencing in the global economy this last year or two. It's called an economic downturn.
All right, so an economic downturn is something negative, as you said. So it means that the economy is not doing very well.
Right, so economy, economic, you know what this means. But in this case, downturn is the key part of this phrase, to slow down or to decrease. So a downturn is a time when less people are making money and less money overall is being earned.
Okay, so an economic downturn. Very good. Why don't we move on to our next word, which is negative impact.
So the thing working here is the economic downturn, and it has had a negative impact on our sales, on this company's sales. So a negative impact, as you know from the first word, is not a good thing.
Right. It's an effect, right?
That's
an effect,
right.
But that's negative, so it's not a good effect.
So I could say that, Marco, being late has had a negative impact on your work lately.
Okay. Or the opposite now. What if something is a good effect on something?
So, Marco, your hard work has had a really positive impact on this company lately.
All right, good. So you can use it negative impact or a positive impact. All right.
Right. So impact, again, is just the effect that something has on something else.
And, well, the boss said that he agrees to give him a raise because, in part, he didn't want to start a brain drain. What's that?
Oh, this is a very common phrase you hear about countries. They have a brain drain, or they want to avoid a brain drain. A drain is the part of a sink or a bathtub where the water goes down.
Okay.
It goes away. And so brain drain means all the brains or intelligent people or educated people leave a country and go to another country. Or in this case, leave a company and go to another company.
All right. So, for example, if all the employees at Apple, maybe they start to quit, or they start to move jobs and start to work for maybe Microsoft or Google, that's a brain drain, right?
That's right, because you're talking about a large number of people. Maybe they're all unhappy because they say that working at Apple's not very nice. So they all leave and go to this other company. The same is true with countries. You can have very, very well-educated people who, when they stop studying, they want jobs, they all look somewhere else. They go to America or Mexico or England.
Okay.
And so that's called a brain drain because they all go away.
Okay. So 5 great phrases right there and words for you. Well, let's listen to this dialogue again, and we'll be back to take a look at Fluency Builder. Excuse me, sir. May I talk to you?
Bill, sure, come on in. What can I do for you?
Well, sir, as you know, I have been an employee of this prestigious firm for over 10 years.
Yes.
I won't beat around the bush. Sir, I would like a raise. I currently have 3 companies after me, and so I decided to talk to you first.
A raise? Son, I would love to give you a raise, but this is just not the right time.
I understand your position, and I know that the current economic downturn has had a negative impact on sales. But you must also take into consideration my hard work, proactiveness, and loyalty to this company for over a decade.
Taking into account these factors and considering I don't want to start a brain drain, I'm willing to offer you a 10% raise and an extra 5 days of vacation time. How does that sound?
Great! It's a deal. Thank you, sir.
Before you go, just out of curiosity, what companies were after you?
Oh, the electric company, the gas company, and the water company.
This first phrase in today's Fluency Builder is one of my favorites. It's something that we say often when we're having a conversation, and we want the other person to just tell us what they're talking about.
All right, so the guy said, you know what? I'm not going to beat around the bush.
Or you could also say, please don't beat around the bush.
Okay.
So I'm not sure where this phrase comes from, but it means please be direct, or I'm going to be direct. I will not wait any longer to tell you what I'm talking about.
So if somebody is beating around the bush, that means they are not being direct. They're not telling you something immediately.
It's, like when a person is trying to think, but, has a hard time and they're really trying to explain something, but, it's just, well, you know what I'm talking about. It's like that time with that thing where he did that. Okay, this is really annoying. I know. It's called beating around the bush because you just don't say what you're thinking.
Right, exactly. So you don't say something directly. Now, our next phrase is to take into consideration. Take something into consideration.
Well, this is something that the young man brings up when he's asking for a raise. He says, you should take into consideration all of these great things I do. This means when you make your decision, I want you to think about these things. So consideration means you're thinking when you're trying to make a decision.
To consider. All right, so to take something into consideration, or you can just say to consider.
So I'm interested in buying a new TV, but I have to take into consideration the fact that I don't have a lot of money. That means I probably won't get a new TV. I have to think about these things when I'm making my decision.
Right. Okay, very good. And our last phrase for today. Towards the end, the boss was a little bit interested in knowing what happened or which companies were interested in him. So he said, just out of curiosity.
So this is something we say when we don't need to know something. It means that we would like to know because we're curious, we're interested, but not because I need to know right away what companies offer you jobs. So this is a polite way to ask why someone did something. So for example, so just out of curiosity, Marco, what kind of shampoo do you use?
That is very interesting knowledge that you want there.
Well, obviously, I don't need to know what kind of shampoo Marco uses, but I'm curious because maybe I'm going to buy a new kind of shampoo.
So you can start your sentence by using this phrase, just out of curiosity.
Just out of curiosity. It's a great one. Listen for that again as we listen to today's dialogue one more time, and we'll be back in a moment to talk about getting a raise.
Excuse me, sir. May I talk to you?
Bill, sure, come on in. What can I do for you?
Well, sir, as you know, I have been an employee of this prestigious firm for over 10 years.
Yes?
I won't beat around the bush. Sir, I would like a raise. I currently have 3 companies after me, and so I decided to talk to you first.
A raise? Son, I would love to give you a raise, but this is just not the right time.
I understand your position, and I know that the current economic downturn has had a negative impact on sales. But you must also take into consideration my hard work, proactiveness, and loyalty to this company for over a decade.
Taking into account these factors and considering I don't want to start a brain drain, I'm willing to offer you a 10% raise and an extra 5 days of vacation time. How does that sound?
Great! It's a deal. Thank you, sir.
Before you go, just out of curiosity, what companies were after you?
Oh, the electric company, the gas company, and the water company. All right, we're back. So interesting enough, he needed a raise not because 3 companies wanted to hire him, but because he needed to pay his bills.
Well, this is funny because he's not talking about companies, that's right, who are offering him jobs. He's talking about the gas, the water, the electrical company.
Right.
It was a very funny dialogue, but I think asking for a raise is very hard to do because you know that your boss is worried about money or it's a bad time to ask, but you want to ask because it's important that you get the right compensation for your work.
Right. And actually, it's important to have a clear objective when you want to ask for a raise. So more or less what you want to earn, but plausible within the company. So you're not going to ask for a 100% raise, right? You can maybe aim for a 5 or 10%, and most likely you'll get it if you negotiate properly.
That's right. And sometimes a raise isn't just about money. You can also, like he did, ask for some time off. He gets some vacation days or perhaps some training.
Or bonuses.
Or a bonus. So this all depends on the kind of negotiations that you make, but it's worth it to ask.
I've been thinking about something for a few weeks now. At work, I do so many things, but my salary hasn't changed in a long time. I feel like I should ask for a raise.
Yes, I understand. That can feel unfair, especially if you work hard every day. But asking for a raise can be scary.
It really is. I don't know what to say. I don't want to make my boss angry, but I also want to be paid more for my work.
That makes sense. Many people feel the same. The first thing to do is to think about why you believe you should get more money.
Well, I always arrive on time. I help other people. I finish my tasks before the deadline. And last month, I even took care of a new project.
That's great. These are good reasons. When you talk to your boss, you can say those things. Talk about the value you bring to the company.
Should I just walk into the office and ask? Or do I need to prepare something?
It's better to prepare. Maybe write down some of the things you just told me. You can also check the average salary for people with your job in other companies.
Oh, I never thought about that. If others in the same job earn more, I can use that as a reason.
Exactly. That shows your request is fair. But don't just talk about money. Talk about your work, your progress, and your goals in the company.
So it's not just about I want more money. It's more like I've done these things and I want to keep growing here.
Yes, you've got it. That sounds more professional. It shows you care about your job and not only the salary.
Do you think I should ask during a meeting or send an email first?
That depends on your workplace. But usually a face-to-face talk is better. If your boss is busy, maybe you can ask for a short meeting.
That's a good idea. Maybe I can say, can we meet for a few minutes? I'd like to talk about my work in future.
Perfect. That sounds polite and clear. Your boss won't feel surprised or confused.
I think I'll also practice what I want to say. I don't want to forget my words when I feel nervous.
That's smart. You can even practice with a friend, like we are doing now.
Right. This talk is already helping me. I feel more confident. I just need to believe in my value.
You should. If you've worked hard and helped the company, it's okay to ask for more. Just be honest, calm, and respectful.
Thank you. I'm going to think more about my points and prepare myself well.
It's also important to choose the right time. If the company is having problems or your boss is very stressed, maybe wait a little.
That's true. I don't want to ask at the wrong time. I'll try to watch and see when things feel more normal at work.
Good idea. Timing matters. Also, when you talk, try to use calm and positive words. Not like, I need more money now, but something softer.
Maybe I can say something like, I really enjoy working here and I'd like to talk about my growth and salary.
Yes, that's a very good way to start. It shows respect and also tells your boss what the talk is about.
And when I talk about my work, I should be specific, right? Not just say I work hard.
Exactly. Say, I finished 5 projects in the last 2 months, or I helped train a new worker. These are strong points.
I can also mention that I learn new skills, like using new software or solving problems with clients.
Perfect. That shows you are growing. Bosses like workers who learn and improve.
But what if my boss says no? What should I do then?
That's a good question. First, don't get upset. Thank your boss for the time and ask what you could do to grow.
So I could say, thank you for talking with me. Is there anything I should improve to get a raise in the future?
Yes, that shows you care and want to get better. Maybe your boss will remember that and think about your raise later.
I guess the key is to stay professional, even if I feel sad.
Yes, because this is not the end. It's just a step. Sometimes bosses need time or need to talk to someone else before saying yes.
And maybe they don't say yes now, but later they might.
Right? Some people ask, and after a few months, they get what they asked for. So don't give up quickly.
I really like the idea of asking how I can improve. That way, I still learn something, even if I don't get the raise right away.
That's the best attitude. Always look for ways to grow. And remember, just asking shows you are brave and serious about your job.
I'm also thinking about how my tone and body language will affect the talk. I don't want to look nervous or unsure.
That's true. Your body language is very important. Sit straight, look your boss in the eyes, and speak clearly.
Sometimes when I get nervous, I speak too fast. I need to slow down and breathe.
That's a great point. Taking a deep breath before speaking can help you stay calm. Even short pauses are okay.
I think I'll also write a few short notes and read them a few times. Not like a script, but just to remember my key points.
Yes, having notes can help. But during the talk, try to speak naturally. You don't have to say everything perfectly.
Do you think it's okay to mention personal things, like my rent going up or needing more money for my family?
That's a little tricky. It's better to focus on your work. Bosses usually want to hear about what you do at the job, not your personal needs.
So I should keep the talk professional, not emotional.
Exactly. The raise should be based on your value at work, not your personal problems.
That makes sense. If I show how I help the company, then my boss can see why I'm worth more.
Yes, think of it like this. You are showing the reasons why the company should invest more in you.
And maybe I can say something like, I want to stay here and grow in this company. That sounds good, right?
It sounds very good. It tells your boss that you care about your future in the company.
What if my boss says, we don't have money for a raise now?
Then you can ask if there are other options. For example, maybe you can get more flexible hours or a chance to learn something new.
I didn't think about that. So even if the answer is no, I might still get something helpful.
Yes, sometimes a raise is not possible, but other benefits can help you. It also shows your boss that you're trying to grow.
This talk is really helping me. I was afraid to ask before, but now I see it's all about being prepared and respectful.
I'm glad it's helping. Many people feel nervous about asking for a raise, but with the right steps, it becomes easier.
One thing I also wonder is, should I send an email first or just ask to meet my boss in person?
That depends on your workplace. If your boss is often busy, it's good to send a short email asking for a meeting. Something simple like, I'd like to talk with you when you have time.
Not to ask for the raise in the email, just to ask for the meeting.
Right? Keep the details for the talk, but the email can help you find the right time and place.
Should the meeting be long or short?
It doesn't have to be long. Even 10 or 15 minutes is enough if you prepare well and stay clear about what you want to say.
Okay, that sounds doable. And I guess I should dress well that day too.
Yes, even if you usually dress casual at work, looking a bit more professional can show that this meeting is important.
I also thought about one more thing. What if my boss asks, how much do you want? That question makes me nervous.
It helps to do some research before. You can look online or ask trusted coworkers to understand what is a fair salary for your job.
So I should give a number that is realistic, not something too high.
Exactly. Be honest and fair. You can say, I believe a raise of this amount matches my work and the current market.
And if I'm not sure what number to give?
Then it's okay to say something like, I'd like to hear your thoughts on what a fair increase might be. That invites your boss to share their idea too.
That's a smart way to keep the talk open and friendly.
Yes, remember, it's a conversation, not a fight. The goal is to work together and understand each other.
I used to think asking for a raise was like a big battle. But now I see it's more about sharing and showing my value.
Exactly. And sometimes, even if the answer is no now, the talk helps your boss see you in a new way. Maybe later they'll offer you something even without you asking again.
That's encouraging. I just have to be patient and keep doing good work.
That's right. Good work always speaks for itself. And even if you don't get the raise right away, your boss will remember that you had the courage to ask.
Yes, and now I feel much more ready. I know how to prepare, how to speak, and even how to handle a no without feeling bad.
I think many people will feel the same after hearing this. We talked about many important things: how to prepare, what to say, how to stay calm, and how to be professional.
And also how to focus on your work, not just your personal needs. That was very helpful for me to understand.
Yes, and we said that it's good to show your value. Talk about your work, your effort, and your goals for the future. That's what helps your boss make a fair decision.
This was such a useful talk. I hope everyone listening feels more confident now about asking for a raise.
We hope this podcast helped you learn how to talk about money at work and also learn useful English words and phrases.
Thank you for joining us today. If you liked this episode, please share it, leave a comment, or press the like button.
And don't forget to keep practicing English every day. You're doing great.
Goodbye and take care.
Goodbye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Avoid the subject by talking about something else. Beat around the bush. Increase in salary. Raise. To think about something before making a decision. Take into consideration. Give with the choice of accepting or rejecting. Offer. The quality of being loyal. Loyalty.
Let's try that faster.
The quality of being loyal. Loyalty. Avoid the subject by talking about something else. Beat around the bush. Increase in salary. Raise. To think about something before making a decision. Take into consideration. Give with the choice of accepting or rejecting. Offer.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Beat around the bush. Stop beating around the bush and tell me what you came here to say. Beat around the bush. We can't keep beating around the bush like this, because sooner or later they are going to find out. Beat around the bush. He tried to beat around the bush, But his father knew better and forced the truth from him. Raise. He was so happy when he got the raise that he didn't stop smiling for a week. Raise. My boss just gave me a raise. Raise. Do you think we can afford to give a raise to all of our employees? Take into consideration. Can you please take our family's needs and wants into consideration before you decide to spend the rest of our money gambling? Take into consideration. Before you decide which employee to promote, you should also take into consideration whether their skills would be better used at their current position or in their new position. Take into consideration. We need to take into consideration how offering our employees a 15% raise will affect our finances. Loyalty. Many businesses rely on customer loyalty to survive, which means that they have to make sure they treat their customers well. Loyalty. My loyalty is to my country. Loyalty. His loyalty to the company is unshakable, so we can count on his vote. Offer. I am willing to offer you a salary 10% higher than what they are offering you. Offer. She offered her help to her sister, but her sister didn't take it. Offer. I would offer you something to eat, but I have nothing in my cupboards.